Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, welcome back. It is a beautiful Friday morning. It is October 12th, and you are listening to the Scout Team, and we are bringing you Scout Team Sports. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And the man on the other mic, as long as he has his microphone turned on, would be...
Yeah, it's your boy coming to you live this Friday, Kyle Loudbeard. It is a Friday. We watched some football last night. We're getting some more football tonight. Some NLCS baseball, Brewers versus Dodgers. And, of course, we have a great weekend of football and baseball ahead of us. How's it going there, Loudbeard? You having a good Friday?
So far, it's a pretty good Friday. Yeah, I'm doing great. It's still early on a Friday, but Fridays are always good no matter what because it is the end of the work week, and we have a great weekend ahead of us. Like you said, we got baseball, we've got football, we've got a little bit of everything ahead of us, and on Fridays, we like to do our fake draft Friday, and we got a good topic coming up today. I think this is getting me into the mood for the season right now. We're falling into fall, even though it is 900 degrees in Florida every season. I'm getting ready, man. Pumpkin spice fake draft today. So you getting all your pumpkin spice foods prepared for your big draft?
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
I got some doozies here. Doozies.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of the running joke in America, but everything's pumpkin spice nowadays. They will turn any food item into a pumpkin spice, you know what. And I don't know. Some of these just kind of become a little bit of misses. So we're going to hit on some of those. Man, last night, big football game, huh? Thursday night football. We had Eli. We had Carson Wentz. Big NFC East matchup. Man, what did you take from this game? I've got some good takes here, but I'm going to let you lead it off. Tell me what you gathered from this big matchup last night.
What I took away from this game was about 70-plus points from Carson Wentz and Saquon Barkley. That's first and foremost. So, great starts by me.
I'm guessing you're talking fantasy football, not in reality.
Of course.
Okay, just so our listeners know what's going on in your head.
I'm pretty sure if you listen to sports, you know. And if you have those two guys on your team, you definitely know, especially if they're on your bench, which I don't know why you would do that. But anyways, I also took away that this is probably the first really, really crappy Thursday night football game. Saquon Barkley was probably the only thing that made it watchable because he had over 200 yards of total offense by the middle of the third quarter, yet his team only had 13 points, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
mean,
the problem is we know what the problem is, right?
What's that?
We know what the problem is over in New York. You know what the problem is. Don't say it's we know it's not Saquon. You know what the problem is.
No, it's not Saquon. It's a little bit of both. It's Eli Manning and the offensive line. We've been telling everybody that all year long. Everybody's like, no, I think they made the right moves, and the Giants are going to be back this year. I just wasn't feeling the Giants, and they're now 1-5. They're looking at definitely a top 5 draft pick, maybe the number 1 draft pick overall. Who knows?
They're going to need it to draft a quarterback. I am now jumping off the Eli train. I was saying it when we were talking about this earlier in the week on the show. Once again, we're the Scout Team, bringing you Scout Team Sports Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. on 12-ounce Sports Radio. And earlier this week on our show, I was saying, it might be time for the Giants to design an exit plan for Eli. They cannot go through that same debacle like they had last year when McAdoo benched Eli and the whole world was just up in arms, and it was ridiculousness. What I think the Giants brass needs to do is they need to pull Eli into an office, sit down with him and say, here's the situation. Next year, we are moving on. We want it to be a nice breakup. Like, let's stay friends. What you can do is, if you want to continue your career, we'll find the best spot for you. We'll cut you so there's nothing that you need to do on your end. We'll make it nice. We won't embarrass you during the season. We'll do a nice press conference where we recognize everything that you've done for the team. But unfortunately, this is the last year. Let him ride it out this year. Let him work through whatever he's got to work through and just finish the season as well as he can. And the Giants design that exit plan. And they need to do it in a tactful way because they blew it the first time when McAdoo jumped in and benched him, and then the ownership got involved and the media tore him apart. All of that has to go away. But after seeing Eli last night and seeing him this year, and I'm with you on the offensive line. I'll get to that in a second, but he's just not going to take this team anywhere. And when you have the young talent of Saquon Barkley and you have the dynamic receiver of Odell Beckham, who's trying to get himself a little bit more recognition, and he's being that diva wide receiver, and he's coming out and saying, my quarterback can't get it over the top. That means I think it's time for this relationship just to amicably part, and maybe Eli retires. Maybe he becomes, a quarterback on the couch with his brother Peyton on Monday mornings. I don't know what he's going to do, but this is time. I'm just saying it is time for the Eli Manning era in New York to be done.
Yeah, I can tell you I'm ready for some Eli Peyton commercials more than I am watching Eli get beat up like he did last night. They had no answers for the defensive line of the Eagles, and they had no answers for anything. They just Wentz looked back to Wentz last year before he got hurt. He finally put together a game where you're like, okay, Wentz is back. Wentz is finally looking like the MVP candidate that we saw last year. He was throwing the ball all over the Giants' defense. He looked good. And Eli, on the other hand, they look bad. And I don't know where Eli can go. Eli says he has a lot of game left in him. I do think if he was on a better team, they would be able to utilize him in certain ways. You just can't use Eli on this team that has no offensive line. But with the NFL doing a huge youth movement at quarterback position, I don't see anybody. I can't think of a team right now that would sign Eli Manning other than for a backup role.
Well, we say that, but as injuries mount throughout the season, so like Eli may not be on a team to start the season, but let's say next year, happened with Jay Cutler in Miami when Ryan Tannehill goes
down.
down
On a roster than Eli can, but I'm just saying, take injuries out of it. Just going into the season, I don't see him being on a roster without a tragic injury going on, because I don't know what team in the NFL wants a quarterback in their late 30s. I don't know what team is that. I don't know a team that's really good that doesn't already have a young quarterback established.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I don't see any immediate needs for any of these teams. Most of them that maybe have questionable starters. Like if you don't believe in Joe Flacco in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson's sitting there and waiting. It's too early to tell. Even if we're looking at next year, these teams are going to give the Sam Darnolds, the Josh Rosens, these type of guys, Josh Allen, they're all going to have at least 2, maybe 3 years to prove themselves before they move on from them if they end up not being those franchise quarterbacks that they're hoping they're going to be. So those teams that all drafted early this year, they're all in pretty good shape. I mean, there's not a team that right now I see a glaring, obvious spot for, except I'm going to throw this one out there to you. This sounds crazy, and it's against everything that I believe in, Chris America. But what if, and this is a big what if Blake Bortles just spirals down out of control this year, and you have Tom Coughlin as the president of operations over there in Jacksonville, who has won 2 Super Bowls with Eli, knows the defense that they have, knows the running game that they have, and they just want to bring in a champion pedigree over to Jacksonville. That could happen, but there's a lot of pieces that would have to fall, and one of them, my boy Blake Bortles, would have to play really bad the rest of the year, and I don't see him doing that, but just throwing this scenario out there, if he did, Jacksonville could draft another young quarterback, but maybe bring Eli in as that bridge so that they continue to have that championship pedigree on a team that could be a potential AFC contender year in and year out.
Yeah, that's definitely been a rumor, a possibility, a theory that a lot of fans have had and sports radio talk show hosts. As soon as Tom Coughlin became, I don't know, is he the president over there? I don't know what his position title is. But as soon as he became that title at Jacksonville, people were saying, is he going to trade for Eli? Is he going to try to work out a deal to get Eli Manning to come? Because nobody outside of maybe a bunch of UCF fans and some half of the Jacksonville Jaguar fan base believed in Blake Bortles. And even still today, there are tons of doubters on Blake Bortles. So I could see that, and as you mentioned, the whole bring him in to groom a quarterback, maybe that could be the position he has with the draft coming up next year, and we got teams drafting a first-round quarterback. Maybe he can come in and groom him. Maybe he does that for the Giants. Maybe the Giants keep him this year. They draft a quarterback with their third pick or whatever. I don't know which pick they're going to land, but they're going to land in the top 5. So whatever pick they get, they draft a quarterback, and maybe they have Eli do what he got from, God, what's his name? Why do I always do this? The quarterback that was there before he left from the Rams.
Wait. Say that one more time. The
Super
quarterback
Bowl-
that was where
Super Bowl
before the Rams?
quarterback that was at the Giants.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, yeah. So he could be.
Oh, I remember him from when he was great on the Cardinals, but he was also he won
He
a
had a
Super
brief-
Bowl with the Rams. So
and
I guess
he had
you're
a brief
right.
Stint, he had a brief stint with the Giants,
And he played for
and
the
he-
supermarket in between,
yeah,
bagging groceries.
and he
That's
helped.
a big
He
story.
was that kind of bridge between Eli and the future.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, the sad part about that is after he left the Giants, because it looked like Kurt Warner's career was done, and so they bring in Eli, I think game 10 or 11 of that rookie year of Eli's career, and Kurt Warner's basically done after that. He gets picked up by the Arizona Cardinals, who, you know, they didn't have a ton of potential, and he has a guy named Larry Fitzgerald that he's able to throw the ball to, and Anquan Bolden. And Kurt Warner then becomes the Hall of Fame quarterback again. Maybe there's a curse in New York for quarterbacks. Eli was able to avoid that curse for 2 magical seasons where he won Super Bowls. But maybe these New York Giants are just cursed at quarterback. I don't know what the answer is there.
I mean, it's just New York Giants were a bad team. They put a bad team around Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, yeah.
And, you know, they eventually built a good team, a good, solid team. They brought in Tom Coughlin, and Tom Coughlin did what Tom Coughlin does. Tom Coughlin has won at every single level. He's taken every team that he's been a part of, at least from where I can remember Tom Coughlin starting in Jacksonville. If he's had a career before that, I don't know. But from Jacksonville to New York to back to Jacksonville, he's led all 3 of those teams to the playoffs, and we all know that he led the Giants to 2 Super Bowl championships.
He's a heck of a guy. So a couple other little nuggets from that Giants-Eagles game. I mean, we could talk all day about how terrible Eli is and how great Carson Wentz is because Carson Wentz is back, like you said, to that MVP form. I'm excited about that. Saquon has the big 50-yard TD run. He looks awesome. But, man, Odell Beckham, he's getting pretty frustrated on the sideline. He starts a little fight, gets a headbutt in with a cooling fan. So you know it's a good time of year when Odell Beckham is fighting with equipment on the sideline. That means that it's a good year for the New York Giants. We see this each year, and as soon as they start losing and as soon as he doesn't get fed the ball, I mean, kicking nets, cooling fans, benches, water coolers, none of it is safe on the sidelines because Odell Beckham, he's going to start a beef with any equipment on that sideline over in New York. I mean, do you think this is warranted, or you think this is just him being straight diva again? I mean, I get the frustration because you're losing and your quarterback's getting sacked left and right, and he's not getting you the ball. But, dude, you got to straighten up, right? Like, you get this big contract. You got to be that face of that team.
Yeah, it's tough. We've seen other players throw temper tantrums and throw their helmet or kick a bench or something. We don't really think anything of it. It's because it's OBJ. But yeah, you gotta. I don't know. You look childish. You look childish when you're constantly going around and headbutting things and kicking things and pushing things over. I get the frustration. I don't know what the answer is because, like I said, we've seen it before. I've seen Tom Brady throw his helmet, on the sideline. We've seen other guys kick a cooler or get upset. Will Muschamp's broken his hand punching a chalkboard during halftime. So it's kind of like, are we just overanalyzing OBJ because he's a wide receiver and that's what we do with wide receivers? I think it's a little bit of both. I think all the people I mentioned are childish when they do it. So, yeah, I think it's time a little bit to grow up. But at the same time, I don't think if we're not going to judge all these other people and call them childish, then maybe we shouldn't call OBJ childish.
All right, so I see where you're going with this. You're an OBJ lover. You just want to make sure that he's taken care of. You always
I'm a
like the
cheater
divas.
lover, OBJ lover. What else?
You
we got?
love the divas, man. So big. I guess the media hyped this up probably more than it needed to be. But OBJ heads back to the locker room early. Come to find out, he said he's getting an IV. He was cramping up. He needed to get hydrated. But
listen, fighting is tough. It takes a lot out of you.
I mean, it wears you down, and
especially if you're fighting a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised that wasn't the headline just to get clicks. OBJ headbutts fan and makes everybody think that he went into the crowd and headbutted a fan.
Well, we should do a story on 12-ounce sports radio. There's a lot of great sports writers doing great stories for 12-ounce. We're just going to write up fake headlines and fake news. I'm in.
OBJ follows Khabib and headbutts fan.
Yes, this is perfect. Well, I think I'm New York gianted out. So let's go on. You're talking about Khabib. So big story is that both him and McGregor are suspended. This is just a temporary suspension just until they make the decision. The Nevada Gaming Commission, they've got a hearing scheduled on October 24th to figure out the fate of these guys. And at that point, they will decide if they're going to continue with these indefinite suspensions. This is just the UFC doing a great job of being in the news again. I think we have talked about the UFC 5 days in a row when we had not talked about it more than 5 minutes on the life of our show. So, again, I mean, this is not something that we're surprised about. There's really no news here. This is all just part of the process. But we're talking about it. UFC is in the spotlight. Whether you love or hate both Khabib or McGregor or whatever, these guys are doing a great job of keeping UFC in the spotlight. And I've got some hot Instagram takes here from Khabib. If you haven't had an opportunity to see these, I just want to make sure that I go and give him the credit here because Khabib is pretty spicy when he's comes
hot.
to his. Yeah, he's super hot right now. So the first one,
I like it.
The first one is him sitting on Dana White's car.
Yep.
And I like this one. He says, "Dana White, you lucky." And this is, I wish I had a better Russian accent. I know a guy named Boris.
White, you lucky man.
Yeah, you lucky man. That you give me belt, or I would smash your car. I know your parking location. Send me location.
Send me location. Now I go look for.
I know
Moose and
your
Squirrel.
car. Send me location. Hashtag send. And then the next one.
Show me Moose and Squirrel, and I release your car.
Yes. I was like, this is good. So now you're calling out Dana White. The next one, I don't know if I could do this all in my terrible, terrible Russian accent.
I'm just saying, I think Dana White's lucky he didn't throw a dolly at the window, but proceed.
Ooh. All right, so he says, and maybe this was written by one of his PR guys, who knows, but he's ready. He's ready to fight UFC. He thinks this is something that they need to step up with, but he's like, I would like to address UFC. Whoop.
UCF.
Why didn't you fire anyone when their team attacked the bus and injured a couple of people? They could have killed someone there. Why no one says anything about insulting my homeland? Why no one says anything about insulting my homeland? Religion,
Homeland.
nation,
Mother
family.
Russia.
Why do you have to punish my team when both teams fought? If you say that I started it, then I do not agree. I finished what he had started. Ooh. In any case, punish me. The dude that is being suspended, Zabura Turkakov, has nothing to do with that.
He's good friend. We have vodka.
If you think that I'll keep silent, then you are mistaken. You canceled Zabara's fight and you want to dismiss him just because he hit Connor. But don't forget that it was Connor who had hit my another brother first. Just check the video. If you decide to fire him, you should know that you'll lose me too. We never give up on our brothers in Russia, and we will go to the end for my brother. If you still decide to fire him, don't forget to send me my broken contract. Otherwise, I'll break it myself. And one more thing, you can keep my money that you are withholding. You are pretty busy with that. I hope it won't get stuck in your throat. We have defended our honor, and that is the most important thing. We intend to go to the end. #brothers.
You
And that was
choke on
serious.
money. You choke on money. I do not perform.
You
Heimlich
choke down your
maneuver.
throat.
You choke on it. I watch you die with my money in your mouth. Honor,
Well, that
Mother
got heated.
Russia.
That
I love
escalated
it, man.
quickly.
I think it's great for UFC.
Oh, big time.
This is what we need. We need a stone cold Steve Austin in UFC. We have the $1 million man in Conor McGregor. He's basically that. He's basically the JBL, the $1 million man, the high flying, highfalutin, maybe the Ric Flair even, the limousine driving, Rolex watch wearing, that kind of guy. We have that guy. Now we need the stone cold, the anti-establishment, the guy who stands up for his boys, the guy who looks at Dana White and gives him 2 middle fingers before he stuns him. The guy that goes out to his car. I remember when Stone Cold took a cement truck and filled up Vince McMahon's Corvette with cement. And I wish Khabib would have done the same thing. It would have been awesome. It would have been fantastic. You know, Khabib now, I said it on Monday, Khabib, you know who he is, and not only do you know who he is, but you now have feelings for him, whether it's I hate him. I think he's disrespectful to the game. I think he's disgusting for jumping over the cage. He could have caused pandemonium and chaos, and thousands could have died from him jumping over the cage. You could be that person, but you have feelings for him, and you're going to want to see him fight again. Or you could be like me, who says, man, this guy is the champion of the people. He's the guy that is anti-establishment. He's not going to back down from nobody. Even if he has $2 million being withheld, he's got his friends back. He's got his teams back. That's the kind of athlete that I like. That's the kind of athlete I look up to, are guys that don't back down, guys that don't get bought off, but stand for what they believe in. Maybe I don't believe in it, but they believe in it so strongly, and I respect that he's willing to tell them to take their $2 million and shove it. So you have feelings for Khabib. You should get him a card on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you said it all. I love all of this. And it is. It's coming out to be a WWE script, and I actually love it. I know a lot of the purists at UFC, a lot of the MMA purists, they're probably not liking all this. They're thinking it's too theatrical. But this is what the UFC needs. You want the sport to get elevated. You want it to become big.
It's what UFC is now. Like, Khabib is just following suit of Daniel Cormier and Conor McGregor and John Bones Jones and Brock Lesnar. This is what UFC has become. It's become this big theatrical show of extras. Gone are the days where, like, even 10 years ago, it was just you talk trash before the fight, you fought, and then you moved on. Maybe you said stuff to TMZ while they're, like, got you at the airport, and maybe you throw a little other jab, but that was it. Now it's all this extra stuff that's on the outside. We got guys throwing dollies at the buses. We got guys constantly calling each other out on Twitter, and then we're running into the cage like Brock Lesnar and shoving people around and all this other stuff. It's just all those other guys though. They get, oh, this is brilliant. This is great promotion. With Khabib, it's like, oh, he's a thug. I'm so mad at him. He's just the worst. And like he's just doing everything that Conor and Brock and DC and Jones and all these other guys have started doing over the last couple of years.
It's all about personalities. People are attracted to personalities. That's why Conor McGregor sells, because he's got a huge personality. And now nobody really knew Khabib's personality, but now they know it. They see it. Now they're saying, okay, this is the tough Russian enforcer that's coming in, and he's not standing for nobody's crap. And this is what he's doing. And, man, I love it. I just can't say enough about it. I mean, Chris, you got to love that, right?
You do, and like I said, send him a Valentine's Day card. I think he deserves it.
I do too. You know who else I think deserves a Valentine's Day card? And I'm going to just jump to a different category here, is Pat Riley. Pat Riley comes out, and I guess this is more of it's reported that he said this, but I think that he would come out and say this. So Pat Riley's been working with Tom Thibodeau over in Minnesota, trying to get Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat. Talks have heated up. There's been several times where there's been a deal in place, but it just falls through at the last second. So, and this is our morning show, so I'm going to have to be very careful and tiptoe around this. But Pat Riley called Tom Thibodeau a mother bleeper, if you know what I mean. And he says, dude, this guy, I can't work with him. I have given him every deal that he's wanted, and he keeps coming back and wants more. He wants more, and then he wants more. He said, we had a deal in place, and that mother bleeper comes back and calls me again and says, no, I want more players, or I want more picks. He said, I'm done with Tom Thibodeau. This guy, he's demanding too much. So you know what that tells me? One, Pat Riley's like, I'm not going to stand for that BS. I'm not going to put up with what Tom Thibodeau is trying to do over in Minnesota. Yeah, Jimmy Butler wants out, but I'm not going to trade away my entire team. And two, Minnesota does not want to trade Jimmy Butler. They know that is their guy. Without him, they are going back to the lottery in the NBA draft. They need Jimmy Butler, and they want to make sure if they trade him that they are getting big returns for him, which almost means they're pricing him out of the market. And, you know, Pat Riley, being a great basketball genius, knows when the value becomes too high. And he's already he had a deal in place with Josh Richardson, Dion Waiters, and a first-round pick. He thought it was a good deal. He thought Thibs thought it was a good deal, and still backed out and still asked for more picks and more players. And Pat Riley said, I'm done with this guy.
Actually,
And yeah, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
No, all right, it's already done.
Actually, I have an Instagram post here from Pat Riley. It says, Thibodeau, I am by your car. I smash car if you do not accept trade. You ask too much.
Is that? I didn't know Pat Riley was Russian. Is he Russian?
He is Russian. Riley
part of the mob?
is a deceptive last name. His dad was Irish, but
It was
his
Riley-owski.
mother was Irish. Yeah, so his dad was Irish. His mother was Russian. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I mean,
I'll take it.
You don't normally see this either.
car.
You don't normally see when a deal falls apart. One front office guy starts going after the other guy and talking about the deal publicly, why it fell through. But you have to imagine that Pat Riley is plenty frustrated if he's coming out and saying that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he knows that. Well, this could be a ploy, too. Pat Riley's smart. He may say, let's take this public, see if there's some sort of reaction that maybe puts a lot of pressure on the Timberwolves to make the deal done. But I don't know, man. I think that he's just being genuine. I think he's coming out and saying, like, dude, I'm doing everything I can over here. He wants to leave Minnesota. We want him in Miami. He wants to come to Miami. I'm offering you good trade value. Just take the deal. Come on, man. Stop being a jerk. And that's how Pat Riley's feeling right now.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to see the other side of the story. Could be he's like, look, I'm giving you Udonis Haslem. He's great. He's a good guy.
I don't know.
He's got championships. He's got 3 championships. Udonis Haslem, you'll love him.
Yeah. I mean, they're not getting an all-star in return. Dion Waiters has been kind of this enigma where he shows brilliant flashes of offensive power and then he'll disappear. He had a good year last year. He helped carry the Miami Heat into the playoffs. I like Waiters, but again, he's not Jimmy Butler. Now, Josh Richardson is a good young player. He's also a great piece. So you're getting 2 really good talents and a first-round draft pick. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good deal. I don't think this is a world-beating deal where I'm like, oh, I have to have these players for Jimmy Butler. But you're also in the position where you know that your star player wants to be out and he will be leaving when his contract is over. So one way or another, you're losing this guy. So you might want to get as much value as possible as soon as possible so that you can make sure that your team is not set up for failure in the future. So it seems on paper like it would be a deal that should happen, but it sounds like it's not going to happen. I don't know, man.
That's the other problem with trading a superstar like Jimmy Butler, you know that in the NBA, if you send a superstar to another team, they pretty much automatically become a playoff team. So if I give you a first-round draft pick for a superstar, I don't have the same value there because if I'm not in the top 5, maybe top 3, I'm basically rolling the dice in a crapshoot in the NBA draft at that point. And the further away you get from the number 1 overall pick, the lower your chances are of finding a guy that could even remotely come close to meeting the value of Jimmy Butler. It's not like the NFL where I say, hey, you give me your quarterback, I'll give you 2 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks and 1 fifth-round pick. I mean, nobody makes that trade, but I'm just saying, all of those 5 picks make up more than 1 top 10 pick in the NBA draft because you can find guys in the second round and the third round and even sometimes in the 5th round if you're lucky. But you can find and you can develop players into first-round overall draft value and to superstar value. So you're right, man. It's tough to find value for Jimmy Butler, and you're not going to get what you think he's worth. Nobody's going to trade you an equal superstar, and nobody's going to give you a draft pick that's going to be worth his while.
No, I'm with you on that, and we've learned that time and time again. Dwight Howard trade. Dwight wants to demand his way out. You don't get in return the same for a superstar that you are sending. You get pieces, and you're not going to get that. It's not going to be apples for apples. You're going to have to get young guys that you hope are going to develop into talent. So it does set you back because you're not getting that same return. And I'm with you on that. All right, Chris America, we're up against a commercial break. On the flip side, we will find out why you are a basic white guy loving pumpkin spice latte. Whoop, whoop.
Come back, we teach you pumpkin spice.
Oh, guess who it is? Did you know the station had a janitor? Oh, yeah, the Jefe. Otherwise known as Beck, and it's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12 Ounce Sports Radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12 Ounce Sports Radio.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12 Ounce Sports Radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb.
Ring Central features all-in-one phone, messaging, and video conferencing. It's easy to use with unparalleled security. Ring Central simplifies things so you can grow. Call Ring Central to speak with a representative about a price for your growing business at 877-779-3860. Again, that's 877-779-3860.
Yeah, welcome back. It is Friday, and you are listening to Scout Team Sports. I am Loudbeard. He is Chris America, and we love being on these airwaves each and every morning, weekdays, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. and again at 11 a.m. We are on the greatest radio station on all of the interweb. It is known as 12ouncesportsradio.com. Check it out when you get a chance. A great lineup ahead of us today. I love Fridays. Some of the highlights today would be Beck's Work Week in Review. We played the commercial before, and Beck is our station manager, program director, and janitor. We love what he's doing over there. Check out his show. It's on at 2 p.m. Also at 4 p.m., and this is all Eastern Standard Time, you can hit up the Scout Team After Dark replay. And we put on an amazing show Wednesday night. If I do say so myself, I don't mind giving ourselves a little bit of credit because I listened back, and Wednesday night's show was hot. I want everybody to listen back.
It was
electric.
And if you haven't listened to it yet, make sure you tune in and find out who is the man with the golden mic's favorite artist or band. It will surprise you. I want to throw out one of those like Facebook clickbait things. Anthony Mack tells us his favorite band, and the answer will shock you. Click here.
Shock you, shock you, shock you, shock you.
Speaking of listening to us, you can follow us at Scout Team Radio on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that other stuff, the IG. We have a little poll running right now. Which New York Giant helmet design do you like best? Is it the NY or the Giants design? The one where it just says Giants with a stripe. Which one do you like better? Make sure you go over to Scout Team Radio on Twitter and cast your vote there. Loudbeard, which is your favorite New York Giants helmet design?
I like the NW one. I mean the NY, when it's just the NY. I like that one.
Okay, so you like the newer one. You don't like the old one?
Yeah, I'm new school. I'm cutting edge. I'm progressive. I'm hip with the young kids.
I kind of go back and forth with it, but I think I settle on the Giants one, and I think it's just more nostalgia. It makes me feel like I'm back to being a kid, back in the 80s and 90s, back in the Bill Parcells days, those kind of things.
Oh, the tuna.
So, yeah, the tuna.
Missed that guy. Man. Scott Norwood, if he would have just hit that field goal, people would look at Bill Parcells.
They would have won 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yep. And Bill Parcells' legend would have been a little bit diminished, not winning that Super Bowl for the Giants.
We could have flying cars right now if it wasn't for Scott Norwood. That's what I'm saying.
It would be the butterfly effect. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Just like the intro. Hey, let's do our draft. We'll get this out of the way. I still got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I feel like we're going to run out of time pretty quickly on today's show. We have baseball talk. We've got a great matchups this weekend. I don't know, but we're going straight up into our draft. Today's topic, the worst pumpkin spice flavored foods. Right now, we are in basic white girl season where pumpkin spice lattes rule the world. Starbucks, I think, started this trend. I don't know if maybe somebody else did. But now every food company is wanting to put pumpkin spice or pumpkin something in all of their foods. And some of these are absolutely awful. And we want to do our draft of the worst pumpkin spice flavored foods. We're going very general with this because, I mean, we could be all over the place. We're not just saying one type of food. We're saying all kinds of foods. So, Chris America, you kicked my butt last week, and I think you drafted first. Does that mean I go first, or am I stepping a little bit out of bounds with this one?
I drafted first.
Did you draft first last week?
What was the draft last week? And it'll help me remember.
I don't know. You kicked my butt in it.
No, you took Russell Wilson first.
Oh, did I take Russell Wilson first?
Okay,
you're right. So you go first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Are we doing we're not going to sit here and make stuff up like pumpkin spice cabbage. I think that would be awful. Like these are
it's got to be real products. These are real products. Yeah.
Can it be a real recipe that I've seen on Facebook? Like this is an actual thing on Facebook.
Hey, it could be whatever you want. This is your list. If the fans think that your garbage list is going to be the winner, then they'll pick your garbage list.
This is not made up. My man T Biggs, I think he tagged me in this earlier this week. It is going to be my first number 1 overall pick. Has got to be pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
That's a good choice.
That tastes awful.
All right, so mac and cheese. All right, I dig where you're going with that. I'm looking down my list here. I've got several really awful ones. Some not so awful ones. But I'm going to go with my first one. Pringles came out with a pumpkin pie spice potato chip. And I think that sounds absolutely garbage.
That sounds atrocious.
Why would they do that?
While that sounds awful, at least Pringles starts off as something good. This is something that I think doesn't taste good no matter what. I've tried it so many times. I can't get the palate for it. and that's mini wheats. And mini wheats has come up with a pumpkin spice mini wheat. So it's like taking something awful and making it much, much worse. So pumpkin spice frosted mini wheats is my number 2 pick.
All right, that's a very good pick. I had that on my list also. I'm checking it off. I got to go down. I'm like Santa here. I'm looking at my list, checking it twice. All right, so my next one, when I saw this one, when I was doing my due diligence and research ahead of time, I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit, and that would be pumpkin spiced hummus.
Oh, my God. I feel like I have good picks, and then you come in behind me with even better ones.
I spend weeks doing this.
I know you research it. You basically are the basic white girl of the show, so I get it. You know where all the pumpkin spice stuff is. I'm at a disadvantage
pretty much.
here. I know why you picked this topic.
Well, you've got the topic coming up, I think 2 weeks from now, and we're going to do a sweet Halloween horror movie film themed draft. I'm looking forward to that one. I thought about doing that one today, and then I'm like, no, we need to save that one. It needs to be the perfect timing. I'm excited about that one.
On Halloween, even though Halloween's not on a Friday, we should just do it on Halloween.
I love it. We're in.
We should be like Habib, just break all the rules.
That's right. Just no one cares.
We'll just jump over. We'll jump out of the Friday cage and beat Wednesday's behind with it. All right. So you went with a spread. I'm gonna go with another spread. Peanut Butter and Company. I've never heard of this, but apparently it's a company. They come out with pumpkin spice peanut butter.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that could be worse than that is pumpkin spice jelly, which I hope does not exist.
I bet it does. We just haven't found it yet. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit off the rails here. I said food, right? This was the category was food. This one is an actual animal food, and I'm just throwing it out there because I have a very, I don't know, a hate for this because they have made pumpkin spice dog treats. Now, does your dog really need to basic white girl it up and do a pumpkin spice treat? Do you buy pumpkin spice treats for your dog, Chris America?
If I had a Chihuahua, maybe, because I feel like the Chihuahua is the basic white girl breed of all dogs. So, or a poodle. So maybe if I own one of those dogs, but I don't imagine my Rottweiler wanting a pumpkin spice treat.
No. Put a little pink bow on it and then feed it pumpkin spice. You almost like change the breed. It's like no longer a Rottweiler. I don't even know what you would call it at that point. It would just be a her. I don't know. Sure? Yeah. I don't know. All right,
let's see.
Go ahead. What do you got, man?
Bring it. My next
Bring
pick,
it.
Let's see here. There's so many bad things, and a lot of them are in like the health food aisle. They're starting to pumpkin spice it up. So I already think yogurt's like I'm never really in the mood for yogurt. Frozen yogurt, yes. Regular yogurt, I really am only just like blueberry, maybe some strawberry, and that's it. But Chobani came out with a Greek yogurt blend with pumpkin spice, and that just sounds, that does not, like the yogurt texture and pumpkin spice flavor just does not sound appealing to me.
No, I had that on my list also. You've got a good list going, Chris America. I'm always nervous. You're very good at these lists. You usually beat me up pretty good when we put the poll out on Twitter.
I'm only 3-2, man.
I know. I feel like it's worse than that, though.
I had to bounce back. I'm
2-3, and it's hurting. But I did also lose to Jimmy, so I'm really 2-4 overall. So
that didn't count. He was juicing.
That's true. The results came in. All right, so looking down my list, this one is also another pretty gross one. I'm going to have some pictures from some of these items. I'm going to try to tag in on the Twitter poll, maybe add it on as some of the comments down below. I'll put on some pictures. Because you may not believe me on this one, Chris America, but yes, there is a pasta sauce flavored as pumpkin spice. And I am going with the pasta sauce pumpkin spice flavoring as being absolutely awful.
Pasta sauce?
Yeah, like I would put it on my spaghetti, like spaghetti sauce with pumpkin spice.
No, I'm just trying to listen, guys. Pumpkin spice is not bacon. It does not make everything better. It makes a couple of things better. Like every once in a while, I'd like to have like a pumpkin spice beer. Every so often in October, I gotta have at least one if I'm at like a Halloween party or something and they're serving it up. I'm like, okay, let me go get let me have one pumpkin spice beer for the season. It's good. I like pumpkin flavored beer, the October style beers. Yeah, no, not. I feel like I just lost the whole thing just on pumpkin spice sauce. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you're going,
gross.
If you're going sauce, do I get to go drink?
You can go drink. I'm good with that.
All right. I don't know. I feel like this would go half and half. I feel like all the basic white girls would love this, but everybody else would hate it. Pumpkin spice Kahlua. I don't imagine pumpkin flavored liqueur taste. I don't even know what you would mix that with. I don't really know.
No, it does not sound good. Does not sound good at all,
Was
my
that
friend.
my last pick too?
Yeah, you're going with the Kahlua for your last pick?
I think so. I'm looking. I got more like health food items that look trash, but I'm kind of just trying to spread it all out. I don't want to do all health foods and stuff, so I think I'll go with that. Yeah, Kahlua.
All right. For my last pick, there's some doozies on here. I'm going to go, I saw a pumpkin spice trail mix, and I'm going to go with that one because that does not sound good to me. I don't like me pumpkin spice trail mix.
Yeah, trail mix sounds awful. And
All
now
right.
I'm thinking of it, man. I shouldn't have gone Kahlua because you could put that in your coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I'm like, what do I put Kahlua in? And all the, like I said, all the basic white girl. I think that'll be my downfall.
It's okay. There's some bad ones. There's some weird ones out there. I'm going to throw out a couple of my honorable mentions. This one was kind of a weird one. I think it was one of these crazy health food stores, but I saw roasted garbanzo beans flavored with pumpkin spice. That was gross. And you talked about the liquids. I saw a pumpkin spice vodka, pumpkin spice moonshine, tons of pumpkin spice beers. They're all over the place. This was a funny one. It's not a food, and when I clicked on it, because I was looking at these lists of bad pumpkin spice stuff. This was on here. It was a pumpkin spice condom, and then after it, underneath it, it said, "This is fake. Don't worry, but still funny." So
They're pretty funny.
yeah. Honestly, it may not be fake. I saw it and I said, pumpkin spice condom. What is the world
I just
coming to?
saw-
What have we become?
I just scrolled down my list and I found one I should have done instead of the Kahlua. There's a pumpkin spice collagen protein bar by Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Just the word
That-
collagen, protein bar, and pumpkin spice. Just those words jumbled together just doesn't sound good to me. I should have went with that one.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't sound good. All right, man, that's our fake draft. We only have about, 8 minutes left, and
Yep.
I want to get back into some sports here. I think we've got some good stuff going on this weekend. Now, first of all, tonight we've got some big games. A top 25 team in college football is playing, USF. They're going up against Tulsa. I know these aren't huge names in the college football world, but should be a fun game tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. But the
Should
big
be-
game... Yo, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the big game after that, or to me, the bigger game is going to be that Dodgers-Brewers game. Our crew is going to be hitting it hard tonight up against the Dodgers. And as the weekend progresses, we're going to see the Red Sox and Astros play. And it has been announced that David Price is going to be starting Game 2 for the Red Sox. And he's looking forward, and he's trying to get past that terrible game he had the other day. What are you expecting when we go into Sunday and David Price is starting for the Red Sox up against the Astros? Do you think David Price can shake off all these demons that he has in postseason and come out and throw a great performance?
No, I don't. I think he's going to be out by the third or fourth inning.
Really? I don't know why. Maybe it's the I feel a little bit for him. I like David Price. I loved him in Tampa. I still have those feelings like you were a Ray. You were there during those times. You made our team good back in the Joe Madden era over in Tampa Bay. So I want to see this dude be successful. I don't want to see this be I don't want him to be defined by his horrible postseason performances because he is really a great pitcher. He has had a great career, but everything in the postseason has been just atrocious. So I would like to see him come out, pitch 7 solid innings, maybe give up 1 or 2 runs, but get the win and the Red Sox pull this one off. Even if it's the only win the Red Sox have the entire series, I want to see this team get behind David Price, and I want to see David Price show up and actually get a win in the postseason.
I mean, I hope for that as well because I do like David Price for all the reasons that you said. But man, history says 0-9, not a good playoff record. I mean, it would be a great comeback story. It'd be a great thing to talk about and pump up on, Monday morning on our show. But the one thing that I'm looking forward to, Loudbeard, is my Panthers beating your Redskins at 1:00 this Sunday. Why haven't we planned on watching this thing together?
We got to get together about this. So, yeah, this is the scout team rivalry right here. Panthers versus Redskins. I mean, I think we both need wins. My Redskins sitting at 2-2, not looking the greatest. Coming off that horrible loss against the Saints on Monday night. Even though that was the great Drew Brees game, it still hurts a little bit knowing that my Redskins they folded, man. They folded. So I need to see something out of my Redskins. And the Panthers are a very good team, a formidable opponent. And I just have to sit there and say, all right, I don't know what this team is. I don't know what the Redskins are. I don't know if they can come out and show up. I've seen them show up a couple games, and I've seen them look terrible a couple games. What is this team going to be? And I'm a little nervous because I like your Panthers. I think your Panthers, they've got it going on. And I've always been a big Cam Newton fan. I don't know why, because he's kind of douchey, but I like Cam Newton, and I'm a little nervous.
You should be, but I'm a little nervous because you guys had Green Bay come into Washington and you just thumped them on the head. The same thing can happen to my Panthers. Redskins are great at home. That Washington, Maryland crowd really gets behind the Washington Redskins. They get loud. They put on their pig masks and their headdresses and everything, and they get raucous down there or up there in Washington. So a little nervous about that. Another matchup I'm looking forward to is the 4:00 matchup between the Jaguars and the Cowboys, just because I like seeing elite defenses play terrible offenses.
I also like seeing the Cowboys lose, so yes, I have this one marked as a game that's worth watching just to see the Cowboys lose. Don't check. Done. What other games you got on your list?
Let's see. We got Browns-Chargers. Browns are at home looking to see if they can pull off another win. They need to get back-to-back wins. That's what Browns fans are asking for. They've gotten over the hump. They've gotten one win. Then they got over the hump that they got 2 wins. Now something Browns fans haven't seen in a long time is their team string wins together. That's how you know you're a really good team and that you're not just another bad team or even a mediocre team is can you get a 2, 3, maybe even a 4-game winning streak going. I want to see if they can do that. And I think the Chargers are the right team to give that to them. It's a tough matchup, but the Chargers are always susceptible for meltdowns and failures in football games.
Yeah, and we've been big fans of the Browns ever since they got their first tie. And because of that and the legend of Baker Mayfield, I think that we are bandwagon Browns fans. And I don't know if you saw this article floating around. I saw it all over social media, a bunch of comments on it. It was kind of going viral. But right now it's saying that the Browns have the problem of a bunch of bandwagon fans jumping on to their winning train. And I just want to say, Browns, be happy that people want to cheer for your team. Having bandwagon fans is not a problem right now. Yes, you were awful for so long that people felt bad for you. And maybe now that you're turning it around, that's why everybody's excited because they're a fan for you not to be so miserable all the time and be such losers all the time. The world is cheering for you, the Cleveland Browns. Love it. Accept it. Move on. Take the bandwagon fans while you can.
All right, we only got about a couple of minutes, so I'm going to throw out 3 more games that I'm looking forward to this week, and I'll let you pick which one you want to talk about. I'm really looking forward to Steelers-Bengals. Bengals have solidified themselves as the number 1 team in the AFC North. Rams-Broncos, a cross-division or a cross-conference matchup. I think it'll be fun. Broncos at home, taking on the high-powered offense of the Rams. That defensive matchup will be fun. And then my boy Patrick Mahomes goes into New England, into Foxborough to take on the Patriots on Sunday night. I cannot wait.
I don't usually go for the Patriots, but I also don't want to see an undefeated Kansas City team where you have to sit here and hype Patrick Mahomes the entire year. I'd like to see you come down to earth, so I'm actually hoping that the Chiefs come out with a defeat in this game. Same thing with the Rams. I want the Rams to come out with a defeat. Not that I want the Patriots to win. I just want the Chiefs to have a loss. I don't know how I can make that work, but I don't want the Patriots to win. Maybe they tie. Let's go with a tie. Same thing over in Denver. I want to see the Rams come out with a loss. I don't want to see any undefeated teams. I don't know why. I just don't feel like these teams should be undefeated. Broncos, hopefully they step up at home. I don't know that they have the power to be able to take on the Rams. The Rams are just too good. But I'm going for the Broncos either way. And the last game you said, Steelers-Bengals, the Red Rifle, this guy, I think he's got it, man. Bengals, this is their year. It's sad that the Browns are in that division because I did pick the Browns to win, but man, I like the Bengals, and I like what the Bengals are doing. I think Bengals come out with a victory in this matchup.
Sounds good, man. Well, we gotta schedule this rivalry matchup between Redskins and Panthers. I'll have to get with you after the show.
All right, man. Sounds great. All right, thanks everybody for listening in. It has been another great episode. Once again, I am Loudbeard. He is Chris America, and we are the Scout Team.
Yeah, remember, I got the ticket, so I can come over to your place. I'll bring over some pumpkin spice Triscuits and pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese, pumpkin spice pizza. It'll be great.
No, just bring all the pumpkin spice vodkas and liquors and beers. I just drink during football. I don't eat, just drink.